Shanghai on a sunny weekend, you stumble upon rows of parents holding signs, each advertising their unmarried daughters. These women are stunning, with delicate facial features, high cheekbones, captivating almond-shaped eyes, and elegant figures that turn heads. However, in China, if a woman is over 27 and unmarried, she is labeled as the bottom orange in the basket. Arranged matchmaking services thrive, and these parks have become bustling marriage markets. But why are such wonderful women still single? Let's explore the challenges facing single women in a country of over 1 billion people. Being labeled an orange at the bottom of the basket is not just a metaphor, it's a reality for countless single women over 27, often referred to as shengnu, or leftover women. But how did this term come about, and why is it such a big deal in Chinese culture? Historically, women were expected to marry young and prioritize family over their careers. However, in recent years, more and more Chinese women have chosen to focus on education and careers, often delaying marriage. Women who remain single beyond their late 20s are labeled as leftover, a derogatory term that implies they've somehow missed their chance. Meanwhile, men receive very different treatment. Single men, even those well into their 30s, are often referred to as shengnan, or diamond bachelors. These men are seen as valuable and desirable, presumed to be successful, independent, and ready for marriage. But why is being an orange at the bottom of the basket such a problem? In China, there's a belief that the longer a woman waits, the less desirable she becomes, like fruit that has been sitting out too long. In many of China's bustling cities, a fascinating tradition continues to thrive in the heart of public parks, the marriage market. It's a place where modernity and tradition collide, offering outsiders a unique look at how Chinese families remain deeply invested in the marriage prospects of their adult children. These markets, held in places like Shanghai's People's Park and Beijing's Zhongshan Park, are not driven by the singles themselves but by their parents. Armed with marriage resumes, these parents gather to advertise their children in hopes of finding a suitable match. A typical marriage resume doesn't just list basic information like age, height, education, and occupation. Instead, it dives much deeper, touching on whether the individual owns a house or a car, factors that can significantly boost desirability in China's highly competitive marriage market. In cities where property prices are soaring, the ability to own a home has become a major factor in matchmaking. In a rapidly modernizing China, the clash between tradition and modern values continues to shape the lives of millions. It's surprising that arranged matchmaking still thrives at these marriage markets. Parents often prioritize income and assets over romantic compatibility, viewing financial security as essential to a stable marriage. Phrases like "my son is 32, has a master's degree, and owns an apartment" are common in these discussions. Beneath this is a societal pressure where tradition meets modern anxiety. Women over 27, often labeled leftover women, face intense pressure to marry quickly. Meanwhile, men, especially those from rural areas or less wealthy backgrounds, struggle with expectations to provide financial stability and a home. Young people often feel torn between their desire for independence and their family's expectations. Some are even unaware that their parents are actively searching for a spouse on their behalf. Is arranged marriage really reasonable? Are you ready to prepare a marriage resume to marry beautiful girls in China? Leave a comment below. Yes, comment number 1. No, comment number 2. When thinking of Chinese women, one of the first things that often comes to mind is their timeless beauty. It's not just their looks, but the combination of their physical features, elegance, and grace that has captivated people worldwide, especially Western men. Chinese women possess delicate facial features. High cheekbones and smooth skin are among their most prominent traits. In particular, their expressive almond-shaped eyes convey a sense of mystery and depth, drawing people in and creating a gentle, serene charm. Whether smiling or lost in thought, these eyes are often described as windows into inner tranquility, adding to the allure that many find irresistible. Another striking feature is their straight, shiny dark hair, ranging from jet black to dark brown. Many Chinese women style their hair simply yet elegantly, enhancing their natural beauty. In traditional settings, you can still see women wearing elaborate hairpins or buns, carrying on centuries of cultural elegance. Physically, Chinese women are typically of average height with a slim, graceful build. Their delicate features exude calmness and sophistication. This is not a kind of beauty that demands attention, but rather a quiet charm. Their soft features and poised posture add to their feminine appeal, an effortless elegance that many find incredibly attractive. Historically, women in Chinese art and poetry have symbolized purity and composure, ideals that remain influential, particularly in rural areas where traditional values persist. Many Chinese women embody a quiet dignity, reflecting the importance of maintaining grace in public life. What do you like most about Chinese women? Their hair, skin, or slim figure? Leave a comment below. But what is the real story behind the phenomenon of leftover women? Why are so many highly educated and successful women delaying or even opting out of marriage entirely? And how is this reshaping both urban and rural life in China? First, let's explore the rise of leftover women and how shifting priorities are driving this trend. In recent decades, China's modernization and economic growth have opened doors for women, offering greater access to higher education and career advancement. Instead of marrying young, many women are now focused on their personal and professional growth. They are earning advanced degrees, securing high-paying jobs, and enjoying financial independence. However, despite their success, these women face societal pressures, especially from family and peers. They are often viewed as too old or too career-driven by traditional standards, making it harder to find partners. Many Chinese men, particularly in rural areas, still prefer younger women who align with traditional roles as wives and mothers. Adding to this issue is rural to urban migration. As women move to cities for better jobs, rural areas experience a shortage of potential brides. Men in these regions struggle to find wives, as urban women are often uninterested in returning to rural life or marrying men with fewer resources. This divide has created communities where single men far outnumber women, leading some to seek brides from other countries or attend matchmaking events aimed at bridging this gap. On the topic of matchmaking, parental involvement has become a notable cultural phenomenon. In cities like Shanghai and Beijing, parks turn into marriage markets on weekends, where parents gather to advertise their unmarried children. Armed with details like age, job, and income, they hope to find suitable matches, often without their children's knowledge. But before we get started, I have a quick 10-second request for all of you. If you can help us out, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll always be the first to get our new videos and exciting content. This would mean a lot to us, and in return we promise to keep making this show even better for you. When you think of China, a booming dating industry might not be the first thing that comes to mind. However, today, it stands at the center of a cultural crossroads, where traditional expectations clash with modern pressures. China's dating industry is thriving, massively. We're talking about over $300 million per year in revenue. This multi-million-dollar market has become a powerful force in shaping societal views on marriage. Once considered a personal milestone, marriage in China has now evolved into a highly commercialized event. The dating industry saw an opportunity in the societal pressure surrounding marriage, particularly for women, and capitalized on it. Millions, feeling the urgency to find the one, have turned to matchmaking services, dating apps, and wedding planners, fueling a multi-billion-dollar industry. This creates a cycle. Societal pressure makes single women feel inadequate, and industries are ready with solutions for a price. The numbers speak for themselves. Over $300 million is funneled into this industry annually, and it's only growing. Companies profit from weddings, matchmaking, and even image consultations designed to make women more marriageable. These labels shape lives, pushing women to meet societal expectations rather than their own. Men aren't exempt from this pressure either. They are expected to meet financial and social standards to be considered husband material. China's one-child policy is a key factor that shaped an entire generation, leaving a lasting impact still felt today. Introduced in 1979 to control overpopulation, the policy restricted most families to a single child. Though officially ended in 2016, its effects continue to ripple through society, particularly in the form of gender imbalance. For over 3 decades, Chinese families faced a difficult cultural question. If they could only have one child, would they prefer a boy or a girl? In a society where sons were traditionally seen as family caretakers and name-bearers, many chose boys. This preference, especially in rural areas, led to gender-selective practices, ultimately skewing the male-to-female ratio. As of 2024, there are approximately 104.7 males for every 100 females in China. While that may not seem like a drastic difference at first glance, in a country of over 1 billion people, it translates into tens of millions of men struggling to find female partners, a phenomenon often referred to as the bachelor crisis. Despite the surplus of men, many, particularly those in rural or less wealthy areas, struggle to find brides. Meanwhile, educated and successful women, especially those over 27, face societal challenges, as men often prefer younger wives when starting a family. This creates a paradox. There are many single men and women, yet they are not connecting. Many Chinese men, often referred to as bare branches because they may not continue the family line, struggle to find wives. At the same time, career-driven women are labeled leftover if they are not married by a certain age. The one-child policy may have ended, but its impact remains. Single women in China, particularly those between the ages of 25 and 34, are becoming key players in the country's economy. They contribute an astounding 41% to China's GDP. Yes, 41%. This is the highest percentage of any country globally, which is remarkable considering the historical pressure on women to prioritize marriage and family over career ambitions. Despite their professional success, these women still face pressure to conform to traditional expectations. However, women in China are increasingly advocating for equal rights, even as they encounter heightened scrutiny and restrictions. The movement for women's rights continues to grow, with many determined individuals pushing for social justice despite ongoing challenges. The trend of single women, particularly in urban areas, is expected to continue. While the leftover label persists, its influence may weaken as more women prioritize independence and reject societal pressure to marry by a certain age. As gender equality progresses and women's economic power expands, cultural expectations around marriage may begin to shift, granting women greater freedom to define their own lives. However, this change won't happen overnight. Traditional expectations for women to marry and start families by their late 20s remain strong, especially in rural areas. But in cities where education and economic opportunities are abundant, more women are delaying or rejecting marriage in favor of personal growth, careers, and financial independence. China is a treasure trove of cultural landmarks, and it's impossible to talk about the country without mentioning some of its most iconic sites. The Great Wall of China, a marvel of engineering, is an absolute must-see. Stretching over 21,000 kilometers across China's diverse landscapes from deserts to mountains, this ancient structure carries the weight of history. Walking along its rugged stone paths, you can almost feel the presence of the countless generations who built and defended this monumental barrier. Then there's the Forbidden City in Beijing, a vast palace complex that once housed emperors and their courts. As you stroll through its majestic gates, you're transported to an era of dynasties and royal intrigue. The ornate architecture, intricate carvings, and sprawling courtyards offer a glimpse into the grandeur of imperial China. But China isn't just about well-known attractions, it's also a country full of hidden cultural gems. In remote mountains and small villages you'll find ancient temples, traditional tea houses, and centuries-old festivals that showcase an authentic side of Chinese life, one that few tourists ever get to experience. For those who crave nature, China's landscapes are as diverse as they are spectacular. Let's start with Zhangjiajie National Park. If you've ever seen the movie, you'll recognize its surreal landscape immediately. Towering sandstone pillars that look like they belong on an alien planet. This stunning park in Hunan province offers endless hiking trails, glass skywalks perched high above the valleys, and jaw-dropping views that will leave you in awe. Then there's the mighty Yangtze River, China's longest river, winding over 6,300 kilometers through the heart of the country. A cruise down this river takes you through some of China's most breathtaking scenery, from towering cliffs to peaceful countryside vistas. For the truly adventurous, there's no better destination than the Himalayas. China's western frontier, particularly the Tibet Autonomous Region, is home to some of the highest peaks in the world, including Mount Everest. Whether you're trekking through snow-capped mountains or visiting ancient monasteries nestled in the cliffs, the Himalayas offer an unforgettable experience that blends spirituality with the raw power of nature. While China's famous landmarks are undeniably spectacular, what truly sets the country apart are its lesser-known gems that offer a more intimate connection to the culture and landscape. For instance, head to Yunnan province in the southwest, a region renowned for its ethnic diversity and dramatic scenery. Or explore the Guilan region, where the Li River winds through otherworldly limestone karst peaks that seem to rise straight out of the ground. Rent a bamboo raft and glide along the river, taking in the mist-shrouded mountains that have inspired Chinese poets and artists for centuries. For a taste of something truly exotic, the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region in northwest China offers a completely different experience. This area is home to the Uyghur people, a Muslim minority with a rich cultural heritage. Wander through the bazaars of Kashgar, where you'll find a dazzling array of spices, silk, and handmade crafts, all while soaking in the sights and sounds of a region shaped by centuries of Silk Road trade. China's food culture is as vast as its landscapes, and once you venture beyond the usual, you'll discover just how diverse and surprising it can be. When most people think of Chinese food, their minds often go straight to Peking duck, dim sum, or perhaps a bowl of noodles and stir-fry. While those dishes are undoubtedly delicious, Chinese cuisine offers much more than what you'll find at your local takeout spot. Take Guangdong province, for example, where snake meat is considered a delicacy. Yes, you heard that right, snake. For centuries, the Chinese have believed that snake meat has medicinal benefits, such as boosting vitality and improving circulation. Many local restaurants serve this unusual dish, often as the highlight of a meal. Imagine sitting down to a hot pot of freshly prepared snake, paired with steaming rice and vegetables. It's certainly not for the faint of heart, but it's definitely a conversation starter, and honestly, why stick to the familiar when you could tell your friends back home that you dined on something that slithered onto your plate? Travel a little further to Yunnan province, a region less visited by mainstream tourists, and you'll find locals enjoying another exotic delicacy: insects. Yes, you read that correctly. Here, dishes made with fried crickets or roasted silkworms are just part of the local diet, offering a rich source of protein. These insect-based meals are prepared with the same care and tradition as any other dish, proving that Chinese cuisine is deeply tied to regional culture and the availability of ingredients. This isn't just about shock value. These unusual foods are deeply ingrained in Chinese history and tradition, representing centuries of adaptation to local environments and resources. In a country as vast as China, where geography shifts from the frozen north to the tropical south, what's on the plate reflects both survival and celebration. In Guangdong, where the weather is warm and humid, snake meat is believed to cool the body according to traditional Chinese medicine. In the mountains of Yunnan, insects are abundant and have long provided a nutritional boost to the local diet. What's fascinating is how these regional cuisines challenge the stereotypes many outsiders have about Chinese food. Each province has its own culinary identity, shaped by geography, climate, and local traditions. In fact, you could travel across the entire country and never taste the same dish twice. You might start in Sichuan, where fiery, mouth-numbing peppercorns dominate the dishes, then head to the coastal regions where fresh seafood takes center stage, and end your journey in the highlands sampling exotic proteins like yak meat. Whether you're going for a brief adventure or an extended stay, you might be surprised at how affordable it can be, especially if you plan ahead. First off, you'll need a tourist visa to enter China, and the process is fairly straightforward. For US citizens, the cost is around $140, while Europeans can expect to pay between 60 and 125 euros. Be sure to check the latest requirements with your local Chinese consulate. Flights from the US or Europe typically range between $600 and $1,200 for a round trip, depending on when and where you book. Booking early and being flexible with your dates can help you find cheaper options. Once you're in China, living expenses vary by location. In major cities like Beijing or Shanghai, a one-bedroom apartment in the city center can cost between $600 and $1,200 per month. However, moving further out or sharing accommodations can drop that to $300 to $600. In smaller towns, rent can be as low as $200 to $400. Food is another area where you can save. Street food is not only incredibly cheap but also delicious. Imagine spending just $1 for a bowl of noodles or $2 for dumplings. Mid-range restaurants typically charge $5 to $10 per meal, and groceries, especially from local markets, are very affordable. Public transportation is efficient and budget-friendly. Metro rides cost around 50 cents to $1, and taxis start at around $2. High-speed trains between cities are also reasonably priced, ranging from $15 for short trips to $50 to $100 for longer journeys. If you're planning to stay longer, good financial planning will allow you to experience China's rich culture and diverse landscapes without spending a fortune. Smaller towns and rural areas in particular offer an even lower cost of living along with unique cultural experiences. China offers a variety of affordable travel and living options, allowing you to explore the country's vibrant culture without breaking the bank. With a bit of planning, you can make the most of your trip, whether it's for a few weeks or several months. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Comment below and let us know which country you'd like us to feature next. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.